Show with Eric. Couples Court. 104.1 KRBE.
All right. Now in courtroom. Judge Rilla, Judge Eric, and Judge Ryan. This is where you got a problem with your relationship. You come to us, and we try and come to a conclusion. You have to abide by our decision. Let's welcome Chad and Stacy to the show. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi, Chad. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, guys. So Chad's the one that actually messaged us first. We're going to let him plead his case in couples court. You state your case, buddy.
Stacy's got this friend that it's a guy friend, and they dated a few years ago. They didn't date that long. We've been married for about 5 years now, so, a few years before we got married.
Okay. So what's the problem?
Well, I mean, he's actually a cool dude, and I don't have any problem that she's friends with him, but I do have a problem with some of the stuff that she's telling him, and it's way, way too much.
Like what?
Oh.
Personal stuff about you guys?
Yeah, and it seems like it gets more and more personal all the time. And
That's what friends do, though. Friends talk about stuff.
Not intimate stuff now.
Not with your ex about your current, and it's your husband.
Is it negative stuff or is it positive stuff?
We went out about a month or so ago. We got pretty wasted, and we went home together, and we're planning on having a good time. And I don't really know how to say this. It's kind of weird on the air, but just, I wasn't able to perform that night. And the next time I saw him out, he kept ribbing me and telling me, make sure you don't drink too much. Make sure you don't drink too much.
Oh, my God. Stacy, how do you defend that?
We are best friends. We share everything. He tells me everything. I tell him everything.
Come on, Stacy.
I don't think it's that big of a deal if you say like
Eric?
a joke. I don't.
You want your wife to tell her ex that she slept with about you having issues in the bedroom?
If they're friends and
No.
it's not issues.
I don't
it's,
believe you.
Oh,
sounds
my
like-
God. I'm so
I do
on
not
Rilla's
believe
side.
you.
Sounds like a
Eric,
joke.
if you guys
No
had a
way.
party together and he came up and said, hey, Eric, I hear your penis isn't functioning, you would have a real problem.
No, not with like that. Because if they're friends and you're just making jokes about it, if it's a one-time thing,
I mean,
you drank too much.
I just feel like this is so
I'm
wrong on
secure.
so many levels.
It's like-
Stacey, we even talk about this just in general friendship with your girlfriends or with guys and their guy friends. Guy friends will talk about girls in a derogatory way if they want when they're doing locker room talk, but not about their wives.
No, I just was telling him what happened. I was just sharing something that happened in my life, the way he shares stuff that happens
But that's
in
an
his life.
intimate, private moment between husband and wife. I would be really mad if I were your husband and you shared that.
No, this is not okay.
I just don't see why it's a big deal. I mean, if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't think it was a big deal.
I don't believe you, Stacey. It is about respecting your mate. You married
You don't think friends
Chad.
talk about stuff?
She married Chad. There is no way that it's okay in the lines of privacy to cross the lines and tell an ex that you were intimate with
But
about
you
issues your
guys are hooked up on the
husband's
ex part.
having.
They're friends.
It doesn't matter.
They're really close
There's-
friends. Doesn't mean they're done with it.
That used to sleep
it's
together.
an opposite sex thing, Eric. The fact that
I
these
think
people
you
have
guys
slept
are
together, I don't believe
Opposite
you.
sex thing.
No, I don't believe
Oh,
you,
I can't be
Eric.
friends with somebody. We're all grown-ups now.
Eric, you and I are pretty much like best friends, even though we're opposites. I never tell you anything about my husband, and you never tell me anything about your wife, nor do I want you to hear it,
But we don't.
nor do I
but
want you to
we're
tell
not
it.
in that world. Like that's how we are.
I mean, that's something private that happened between the two of them,
Well, I mean, she needs to
husband and
respect
wife.
him. If he's
He
upset
doesn't
about
want
it.
the guy to know it. That's the disrespect.
Well, I didn't know.
Now you know, and you should not do that anymore.
What is it, Chad, that you want to accomplish here in couples court? What is it that you're asking for?
First off, for Stacy just to know that it wasn't just me overreacting to the situation. I mean, this is weird that they're even friends now anyway, and I just kind of I'm cool with it, but I would like him to actually kind of pull back on hanging out quite so much, and then definitely pull back on the intimate detail stuff for sure. That should be off limits.
Ryan, when you see your ex, do you think about all the times you were romantic, the nights you...
But Ryan,
No, I
wouldn't be
don't.
telling
But
the
I'm
ex
also
about the
not
current
telling my
stuff.
ex, like, hey, I'm having problems in the bedroom, or she's not performing right in the bedroom. That's such a betrayal. I would never do that. Never.
I don't know. Ryan and I are totally united on this one. I don't know who you are, Eric.
I'm just saying...
There's no way this is
everyone's
happening to you.
different.
You'd be okay with it.
For me, no, but everyone's different.
Nobody on the text screen at 37530 agrees with you. Everyone's like, there's
there's
something
like
deeper here.
one.
Okay, one out of like 2,074.
But there's one.
Listen, you're losing this one, Stacey. Chad's got the corner.
How about-
everybody's in his corner?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
What if
it's
it was a
majority
friend?
rules.
What if it was just a girl?
If you're mentioning private, intimate details of our love life to a friend, That pisses me off, man. I'm sorry. Rula and I are voting. Stacey, you got to muzzle it when it comes to telling personal
it's
details.
Not respectful to Chad at all.
Hope your girlfriends don't say anything about that in the past, Ryan. Talk to their friends, because girls talk.
The difference is, Eric, you're changing the scene. The scene is not about a girlfriend and a girlfriend. We're talking about a woman who had an intimate relationship with a guy 10 years ago, and they're still friendly, but she's telling him about her husband.
But they're
stuff.
friends. Like, I'm just saying, the sex thing is just because you had sex back in the day doesn't mean you want to do it again with them.
That's not the point. It's disrespectful.
I don't understand how it wouldn't be disrespectful if he was a girl.
Yeah.
It still is.
It still is.
I feel like you guys are focusing on that.
I know what happened to you. No, that's disrespectful.
You can call in right now at 713-390-KRBE. Do you think for 1 second that Eric would not have a problem if some guy came up at a party and said, hey, I heard your wee-wee didn't work last night?
Because it never happens.
And he
I
topped
didn't
it off
say,
there by
man,
saying,
dude.
well, when
Impressive.
I was with her, I never had that problem.
I think you forgot. I said, for me, I do not think that way. For me, for my situation.
Majority rules.
Sorry, Stacey, I tried.
The city has ruled against you, as have we. It is Chad who wins this couples court
You win, Chad.
argument.
All right,
But
thanks,
what did she
guys.
win, though? What did they win?
She's
Just
got to
win.
keep.
She can't be friends with the guy anymore?
No, she
You're just
wins
gonna
the acknowledgement
Then
of
you're going to make them
stop
want to have
talking.
sex with each other.
Oh my God,
Eric, stop
no.
with you.
She
If you
just
two
has
wanna
got
push
to
him
be more, I don't know, more respectful and not
There you go.
blab
That's a
every
good
little
word.
intimate detail.
Respect your husband more and not say those personal details. That's a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right, case closed. Now, coming up next, we started the week on Monday with How'd You Catch Your Cheater? And I thought, let's have a perfect bookend because you brought it on the listener line. So many people called in with their stories, and we're going to give you another chance. How'd you catch your cheater? You didn't need roses. You didn't need us. We're going to hear from you next on the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric and 104.1 KRBE.
Pick up your phone. How'd you catch a cheater on the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric?
104.1 KRBE.
You didn't need roses. You didn't need our help. You just found out on your own your mate was cheating on you. And it's so painful. I know it is because it's not just the cheat. It's the fact that you got to look at it this way. They're narcissists to begin with. If they cheated on you, they only care about themselves. But the worst problem is when they just deny and deny and deny, and then they gaslight and they make you feel like you are the one that's going crazy when they're the only one that has done something wrong. So we're going to go ahead and start this segment out with Ashley. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Hey, Ashley. So how'd
You
you
can
catch
hear the
your
smile,
cheater?
by the way, when I talk to her. You can hear her smile.
Yeah, I need
what she
all the
talks.
background in the story.
I can't even believe that I'm telling this out loud. I always swore that I never would because
Nah.
it was just completely unbelievable.
It's just us. Lay it on us.
My ex-boyfriend, because of course he got caught. So this was years ago, like right when like online shopping wasn't really popular. People were like more into ordering things online. So your best form of payment, like when you ordered online, was PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend at the time worked out of town. He traveled for work. So it was not uncommon, for him to like mail me gifts or like, mail me things because he missed a lot of things because he was always out of town working. So nothing out of the
Right.
ordinary. So of course our like home address was set like as the shipping delivery address on the PayPal account, but we both used it, of course.
Okay.
I had ordered some stuff and I was like, man, like my stuff never came in. Like, again, this is when like ordering online was more new. So shipping issues were a thing all the time. So I was like, let me log into the PayPal account and let me just double check and see like maybe it's not delivered. Like maybe something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I log in and I'm seeing an address on there and I'm like, this is not our address. Like whose address is this? Well, the address was familiar to me. So my childhood best friend, her parents were divorced, but this address was like the same road where her dad lived, which I grew up with her. We went and visited her dad all the time. We'd go spend the night over there. It was not a familiar address to me. So I call her up and I'm like, girl, like this address, like this is by your dad's. Like this is super familiar. I was like, do you know somebody that lives by your dad that would be getting my packages or like have their address on my PayPal account? She's like, get in the car. I'm coming to pick you up. Like, let's go over there. So we go to this address, and I'm thinking, like, this is maybe, like, some older person who just didn't type the address incorrect. Like, there's no telling. I'm thinking everything. Give me the benefit of the doubt. We pull up at this address. Not only is this girl that I knew, but my boyfriend was at her house when we pulled up there.
You caught him red-handed.
Oh my
Caught him
gosh! Did you knock on the door? What'd you do?
Because, we knocked on the door. You know, I'm not a conflict. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, if you do somebody wrong, your karma's going to come for you in due time. I don't owe you anything. But my girlfriend's like, no, we're going in here. She busts into their house.
Oh, my.
Hunts him down, hollering his name, like, dragged him out, and he finally admitted that he was, like, ordering stuff. They had been dating for, like, 6 or 7 months. The
Oh, my
girl
gosh.
knew who I was. She knew where I lived. Like, we had been together, like, 6-7 years at this point.
Oh,
Like,
oh
my
she knew about me, the whole 9 yards. She knew he was cheating. She knew he worked out of town, like, everything. She knew everything.
Wow. So she was a willing participant. She 100% knew that y'all been in a 7-year relationship and starts dating him on the side.
She knew everything, and funny enough, they are now married and have kids.
Oh, my
You're
God.
Well, I guess you could look at that part. At least they're
Whoa.
stayed
Something
together.
came out of it, I guess. But
Ashley, how old were
Yeah.
you at this time? Y'all had been dating 6 or 7 years. How old were you?
So we were high school sweethearts. We had been together since we were 15, and we were going on like 22, 23.
Okay.
So then you broke up with him. He stayed with her, and then. But yeah,
Yes,
Eric, you said
they're
it was
now
3
married
people.
and
he
have
was-
kids.
And then you said you caught somebody else?
So yes, we get through this whole big scenario, you know, and we had lived together like the whole 9 yards. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, we've got to go get my stuff out of this house. Like, I'm not going back. Like, gun ho, we're moving out. We're breaking up. We're not doing this. So my girlfriend and I pull up at my house at this time, and we are packing our things. She's helping me pack and like get out of the house. And my phone starts ringing, you know, and I'm thinking it's him. He's on his way there to fix everything, you know, the usual boy thing.
Yeah.
Text messages from his mother. So I'm like, wait, maybe he's called his mom and like told his mom what's going on. You know, I'm not calling his family and telling him anything. I don't want to deal with that. It's his mom. And I realized, like, you know, this was a little long, you know, a while back where like text messages, it would say like a picture message still. So I told my girlfriend, I was like, his mom is sending me like picture messages. Like, I don't understand. What is this? Like, this is odd. She doesn't usually send me pictures. So we look at them, and she accidentally texted me her nude photos that she was sending to another man cheating on their dad.
Oh, my
it's the same
God.
day.
My God.
So cheating runs in the family.
Ouch.
It runs in the family because it gets better. So I'm like, we're flabbergasted. We're like, what are we doing? We're like, these photos, like all this. We're like, what in the world is going on with this family today?
Oh my God.
And I've had this girlfriend with me. She's been with me since I was born. Our moms were friends growing up. Our grandparents grew up together. So long, very close with her and her family. So, you know, we call her mom and we're like, what do we do? Like, this is so weird, you know, and we're talking about it. And she's like, nothing, y'all just get your stuff and get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, in the midst of all this, the brother to the same family realizes that we're at the house. And I don't think he knew, like, what was going on with me and the brother and the mom and all this at this point. And he had a girlfriend, longtime girlfriend. They've been together a while. Well, he's always kind of liked my girlfriend. Like, he's always kind of hit on her every now and again and been kind of flirty with her. And she's always like, leave me alone. Like, y'all have been together so long. She's like a brother. They're like brother and sister, you know. And so she's always like, no, leave me alone. And so he realizes we're there, and he comes in and he starts hitting on her. And she's the same thing as usual, like, hey, like, leave me alone. You know, you got your girlfriend. And they actually lived a couple houses down from where I was living at the time. So his girlfriend called him at my house. So she's, of course, calling, and she's like, hey, you need to leave there. Like, I know you're there with her. Like, I know they're both there. Like, you don't need to be there. Like, she was super insecure about him being around her, which is completely understandable.
She had a reason.
because the way he
She was
acted
smart.
towards her. Right.
Yeah.
Very smart. So he leaves because he's getting in trouble with his girlfriend. And before he even makes it out of the driveway, he's texting my girlfriend, like, hey, send me some pictures. Like, let's hang out later. Like, we
What's
don't have
with
to
this
tell my
family?
girlfriend
God,
about
this is all in the same day, Ashley?
all in the same day. This is like within 2
Holy
hours of all this
smokes.
happening. My girlfriend actually was like, you know what? I'm sick of him texting me and doing this. He's always asking me for nude pictures. Like, I'm so tired of this. She took the nude pictures that the mom sent and sent them to him.
Oh, my God.
And he was living for it.
Nobody
He
wants to
was
see
like,
that.
Oh, I
What was
love
his
these
reaction?
pictures.
Oh, no.
Like, to this day, he still does not know that those were his mom's boobs.
Oh, it was just boobs. It wasn't no. It was
So the
so,
face is propped out.
so he liked those photos a lot.
Yeah, he's hearting his mom's boobs.
So her and I, to this day, they were like, we're going to take it to our grave that we sent this boy his own mom's boob pictures.
No, you got to call him. We can put you on revenge. How fun would that be? To call him
That
up and let him know all these years you've been funning over those. It's probably like saved in his phone for a rainy day.
Those are your mom's
He was
boobs.
thinking, okay, the real story, guys. And guys, you guys are guys.
Yeah.
When this dude got the breasts of an older lady thinking it's this young girl, is he wondering like, wow, that's not what I thought they'd look like?
Had to be turned off.
Wow.
I don't even think he cared. I think he was just so excited to see some boobs. Like, it didn't matter to him.
There's moms. By the way,
Wow,
his mom could only be
Ashley,
20
you
years
brought it.
older. I mean, there are plenty of women that are 40 plus that probably look amazing without their top.
But you don't want to see your
Not your mom.
breasts,
Not your
man,
mom.
right?
God, I'm ending it there. I can't.
Nothing could top that.
Ashley, you got us 3 stories in one shot. We're great. Thanks so much
Wow.
for sharing that. That is
That's impressive.
unbelievable.
She didn't
but
tell
true.
them because I would want him to know.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yes.
Like
You're like, you like that? Well,
Yeah.
good. That's your mom.
And he's like, oh, my God, you should see what I just did.
no,
Oh, no.
You,
So traumatic. I didn't even think about that. All right, coming up next, we're going to check in with the listener line. We have one call. This woman is making a very strong claim. Kevin, you and Ahmad.
Very strongly claiming.
Very strongly claiming. I'm going to let you guys be the judges whether or not she is correct in her assumption. All right?
Bigly.
You'll find out. Bigly. You'll find out what it is next on the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric and 104.1 KRBE. 4.1 KRBE. It's the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric. So we check the listener line all the time. 713-278-VENT, where you can make a commentary. You can ask us a question. Anything you want. We go through them like several times a day. And Kevin, Ahmad, I'm going to let you hear this one, and you guys can jump in on this as well. Here's a call we got on the listener line.
Here's a little segment idea that you'll never do because it's about gay people, and I know we can't talk about gay people when the sun's up. I want to know what the gayest thing that anybody's ever done, and, like, people can call in and try to, like, out-gay each other, because I'm pretty sure I just took the cake. I think I just did the gayest thing that's ever happened in the history of gayness. I just drove 800 miles round trip for a date. For one date, one night, a dinner, 800 miles round trip, 400 miles there, 400 miles back. I just did that. The gayest part of it is that the date was with my ex-wife. There's nothing gayer than that. There's absolutely nothing gayer than that. I know you can't talk about it on the air, probably, but Pride is coming up, so I figured why not? You guys are the ones I was going to tell, so there you go.
We can
First
talk
of
about
all,
anything.
I
that
think-
could
I think
happen
we
in
are
a straight
very-
relationship as well.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, but
that
then
has nothing to do with being gay.
I told him
but-
about this on Sunday. I sent it to him. I go, "Am I wrong? I don't know. I'm not gay."
a known
Why is this
thing
the
that
gayest thing?
lesbians are known for jumping the gun. There's a joke that's like, what does a lesbian bring to a first date? A U-Haul.
U-Haul.
Like that.
Oh,
they're
how funny.
known.
Sam knows the
Yeah, they're
punchline.
known.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Move in the
next day.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean-
why is that? Has anybody done a deep dive on that? Why is that universally the thing?
I think whereas with gay men, it's two men, so it's like very sexual and very that. With women, it's
like more
love.
nesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
nest.
Ah.
A woman wants that. You
Yeah.
get 2 women together, and it's like double the.
No, yeah, he's
Can't
that
say
word, the cringe
but,
word. nest.
double the nest.
Okay, so double the commitment, like quicker
Yes.
to commit.
Yes.
And like, let's just do this. We already know we're into it. Let's
together,
just go.
we got it. Yeah.
So for women, it's moving in together. For 2 guys, we always have the same mindset.
Yeah.
Let's hook up.
And women have the same mindset.
Get out of my house.
Yeah, all right, that's cool. Later.
Bye.
But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong
although-
with that.
Booster moved in the next day after
Y'all
we
met?
met.
Really? The next day?
It took
No,
me
why?
2
Was he
months.
homeless?
Yeah.
About to leave?
Come on, lesbians over here. Yeah, let's do
Yeah, 2
lesbians
months
here.
for a month. The next day, why, Kev? What was the
He
situation?
was still
He was
living.
kicked out, wasn't he, or something?
No, he was still living with his ex-boyfriend's mom, which is where they used to live.
Remember you
The
had dinner with him.
ex-boyfriend's mom.
Yes.
Oh,
That's-
wow.
That's
So
like
he
in
needs to get
Baby
out.
He needs to get out.
That's
So-
exactly like in Baby Reindeer.
But the boyfriend's mom was so kind and sweet and real granola, and I even went over to the mom's house to have dinner with the ex-boyfriend's mom.
The boyfriend was the ex.
He wasn't there. Oh no, he wasn't
No.
there. So Booster and I met on a Saturday night when I went to the club to pick up some records. The next day, I had to spin at brunch. He came to see me at the end of brunch. helped me with my records to go home, and then just stayed there for the rest of our
Never
my
left.
20 years.
Yeah,
That's really something else. But also as a necessity, like I got to get out of my ex-boyfriend's mom's
probably.
house.
He's like, you look nice.
I wish we
You
had
probably
more.
fix my
I
stuff.
wish we had more information. Like, why would you go?
And why 400 miles? Where was
Well,
this?
because
And why round trip like that?
800 miles.
The 400 each way. I'm sorry.
this
Yes, you're
person
right.
is
You're right.
trying to rekindle the relationship
She didn't sound like it. She just sounded
No,
like
she said it was a dinner date.
on a date.
with her ex.
Yeah, with her ex.
And now Eric is right. I think absolutely there's plenty of straight people who would make bad decisions like that.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
confused. Like,
It
she
may
meant,
not be a bad decision, though.
what you mean by the
Maybe-
gayest?
Why
like,
was that the
topic?
gayest thing in the history of
Well,
gay? everything?
because
Like a stereotype of what's
Yeah.
the gayest thing you've ever done?
Because of that stereotype, I guess. I think there's
Did you
definitely
drive a
some
Subaru? Wasn't that the thing?
more stereotypical things like that.
drive a
Like
Subaru?
that.
That's what I always heard.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, God.
That's whenever I'm like, I can't get that car. I'm not a lesbian. That's what I felt.
Okay, somebody on
I didn't know that
text
was a
wants
thing.
to know regarding the
dead.
call we just played. She wasn't talking about moving in, though. She was just talking about a date with
date.
her ex that was 800 miles round trip. Is she now going to move back in with her ex, or what? We need more
Play it
information,
again. Play it
says
again.
the texter.
People just-
All right, here's
Just
the beginning.
came.
I want to know what the gayest thing that anybody's ever done, and like people can call in and try to like out gay each other, because I'm pretty sure I just took the cake. I think I just did the gayest thing that's ever happened in the history of gayness. I just drove 800 miles round trip for a date, for one date, one night, a dinner, 800 miles round trip, 400 miles there, 400 miles back. I just did that. The gayest part of it is that the date was with my ex-wife. There's nothing gayer than that. There's absolutely nothing gayer than that. I know you can't talk about it on the air, probably, but Pride Month is coming up, so I figured why not? You guys are the ones I was going to tell, so there you go.
Sounds like just dinner.
Yeah.
Turned around and came
What would
back.
be like 800? What would be 400 miles?
Yeah,
Like,
where's
is,
400
Dallas and
miles
back.
away?
is Dallas and back?
Dallas
okay,
and
so
back.
like a four-hour drive.
Probably what it was.
If you're going 100 miles an hour, it's a 4-hour
Could be
drive.
Austin. Could be Austin, right? Was
Yeah.
that 3 hours?
Maybe.
No,
and a half,
Austin's
maybe.
3
Austin's closer.
or
yeah.
2
Yeah,
and a half,
Austin's
3.
definitely
Depends
closer.
where
So
you're
yeah,
at,
Dallas
Austin.
or
If you go to
something
LA.
like that.
Yeah,
Fort
so like
Worth.
Dallas is like right now. If we GPS, it's 3 hours 54 minutes.
How many
Right.
miles?
247.
Oh,
far.
so-
There's only 247
So
miles.
she's like Oklahoma City.
New Orleans.
Wow.
My husband and I finally actually drove to New Orleans once to save on airfare.
That's a Cracker Barrel.
That
Billboards.
is not a nice drive.
No, that's why I take the train.
At
Yeah,
all.
it's really long.
But yeah, but the train takes you 10 hours.
It does not. It took the same amount of time.
Where's the beverage
Maybe like an
cart?
hour later. Yeah, there's a full-on dining car with actual silverware up in there.
Do you have any pictures from that time?
I do. I do.
wanna
It's
see these
lovely.
pictures.
You don't get all those like Instagram reels, Rula. Like everybody's like, take the train with me.
Where'd you get on it?
Grab a beverage.
Where do you go? Where do you
It's next to the police station downtown.
Okay.
I just have these
Yeah, on-
images in my head of like
Houston
a guy
Avenue?
coming around. He's got like the little pillbox conductor hat.
Absolutely.
He does.
He does.
Clicking your ticket.
So what happens
Absolutely.
when they find out you didn't pay for this ticket or you should have gotten kicked off?
Yeah.
They just like stop the train and throw you off?
Oh
in the
no!
middle of nowhere?
They check
Right
your
away.
ticket before you get on. As you're walking onto it, they're
I think about it's
they're
probably like
checking
a
your
TSA type world now.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
Sure.
Because when I was on the East Coast, we used to take the Amtrak from like Philly Street Station, to
Right, and
New
then they walk
Jersey.
around.
They walk around after you're
I took
already
it to
on the
Chi-
train to check your
I took
ticket.
it to Chicago from Dallas. It took me 24 hours. And in the middle of the night, they stopped the train. I'm like, we're not moving.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's
Just
taking a
pull
break.
over
Or the
for like 4
conductor's taking a
hours.
nap.
I had no
Oh,
blanket,
man.
no pillow. I didn't know how this worked.
But why
Yeah,
would
you
you
could-
choose that over an airline ticket?
Because
Still
here's
cheaper.
the thing with the airline ticket. Once you get there, then you have to pay for an Uber to get from the airport to downtown. And that costs more than the train ticket.
Oh, how much
It's
is the train ticket?
$40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Okay, so I mean, you're standing by the whole train thing, then, Kevin. You're just always going to be a train.
I love the train because it is inexpensive, it's easy, convenient, very comfortable. There's snacks, beer. I mean, what else could you want?
I'll say this much: the only time I've ever taken a train was in Europe. And aren't you going on a vacation there?
Yeah, and I will take a couple European trains when I get to Switzerland, I think. But our boss and I are going on a 8-night river cruise all
I
throughout.
know this
Brag
cruise you're
about
talking
it.
about.
Brag
No,
about
I
it.
know this
Through
cruise you're talking
Germany.
about. My daughter did this last year, and she loved it. You're on a small. It's not.
It's a
really,
riverboat. It's not a cruise ship. It's a riverboat.
And
And
I think it's like 100 people or something.
It's going to be me, Booster, our boss, my dad, and a lot of other people my dad's age. I would say most of the riverboat will be my dad's
So
age, which
you-
is in their late 70s.
But you stop in all these cool places. Like I'm pretty sure this one stops in Salzburg. It goes to Vienna. You go to Amsterdam. You do all this stuff.
We definitely start in Amsterdam, but the towns that we go to are very small, like Cologne and Kinderjik. and other names I can't
But
pronounce.
it's really beautiful, and if you're a history buff, it's really cool.
Sorry, I got to do this update. Someone said, "Hi, I'm the one who drove 800 miles round trip to go on a date with my ex-wife. It was Cisco, Texas, and we are remarried now."
Oh,
I love that.
Congratulations, it paid off.
Coming up next, we will have our Pride mix.
Yeah, but before you get to that, I want to remind everybody that Pride is this weekend. Kevin and Ahmad are going to be your hosts, your MCs at the Pride Parade.
Woo woo. That starts at 7 p.m., so the sun will be going down. It'll be getting a little bit cooler, although it's not even going to be one of those crazy hot prides. It'll just in the low 90s.
You're used to it. It's Houston.
I do love an opportunity to wear a tank top. So the actual festival starts at 11 a.m. Now, if you want discounted tickets to get into the festival, and it makes it easier, just buy them online. You can do that by going to krbe.com/pride. Is that right? Pride? /Pride?
Pride 365.
If you type in Pride in the top right on the magnifying glass, then you will definitely find the page where it has exactly where Ahmad and I will be, because I can't tell you off the top of my head.
But it's near City Hall.
Parade, yeah.
Yes,
the parade route,
close.
that's where the festival is, at the City Hall. And the parade route is pretty big, so you can find yourself a spot on it, and we'll come by with the KRBE crew and throw out some beads and
It's
other
so much fun, y'all. I mean, if you've never been, why don't you share with people, like, if somebody's been thinking about, I've never experienced this, like, what are some of the big attractions? Like, just how would you describe it to somebody who's never been?
At the festival, there's DJs, there's drag performers, there's food vendors. Some people hop in the pool in front of City Hall, but that's not allowed.
We're not supposed to, but we know it's going to happen.
There's a lot of LGBTQ initiatives that have activated out there. No matter what you're into, there's a club or an organization out there that is probably going to be something that you're into. And it's awesome to see all the other allies in the community. Allies meaning companies who will step out and show that they rep us, they support us, they know that we have had a hard time in the past and we're proud to be here now, because no one knows what it's like to have every 2 years wonder if your rights are going to be on the ballot, if you're still going to have, for example, the right to be married to your partner.
Oh.
It's scary. No one has ever tried to take rights away from people who are like straight cis. So it's
and white.
And it really it hurts.
Right.
It hurts. And so that's why we're stepping out there celebrating Pride, proud to be who we are, love who we love, and support the community. Everyone comes out and has such a great time. If you've never been, it's super fun and a lot of love.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's do what's going down in H-Town.
Okay.
You got that, Ahmad?
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hold on.
Loading.
I did not want to, just surprise you there.
There we go.
The Rule and Ryan Show with Eric.
What's going down in H-Town?
104.1 KRBE.
All right, by the way, if you've got to go to the airport this weekend, airports are going to be super crowded. They're saying they expect this to be one of the busiest non-holiday periods of the summer. And why is that, everybody? Beyonce. Yes, her Cowboy Carter tour is taking over NRG. So they're expecting just today alone at IAH and Hobby at least 161,000 travelers, 161,599 to be precise. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people flying in and out of Houston this weekend. So yesterday, I think everybody was glued to the television when we were watching that woman. She had a gun on I-45. She brought traffic to a standstill after getting into a standoff with Harris County Precinct 4 deputies. There was a crash, and the incident began around Cypress Wood Drive in the southbound lanes of the North Freeway. Deputies responded to a report of a crash. The woman crashed into another vehicle and it was later pulled over, and she refused officers' commands. She reportedly pulled out a lawn chair, sits down in the middle of the freeway and holds a gun to her head, and that prompted a full-scale emergency response. Negotiators were brought in, and thank God nobody was hurt. Officials said a family member was called into the scene in an effort to help resolve the situation. That's what's going down in H10. Now, speaking of pride, you've got a pride mix coming up.
All right, so we're going to bring in all of our LGBTQ artists and allies like Doechii, Kylie, Charlie, Billy.
Everything is with an
Khalid.
E.
I like that.
Yeah. Chapel, Gaga, Beyonce, and more. And that's coming up next in your Friday Free For All.